What's good? What's good? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Jazzy E, and this is Real Boxing Network. So, man, Teofimo has spoken. It's a lot to bust down. It's a lot to break down. So, y'all go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all know the first rule of Fight Club. Fight Club yourself up, and that is to hit that notification bell so that you can be a real boxing family member. Get the exclusive and latest information. Let's go. So, man, Teofimo, he's speaking on Boxing Science 2.0 on the live, on the gram. And, man, he said a lot of things that need to be said. You know what I'm saying? Let people know what the deal is. So, we're going to break it down right here. Let you know about Devin Haney, next opponent. Bob Arum, what's the popping? What's the deal? What's really going on? So, his next opponent is looking to be George Kambosos Jr., and he's from Australia. Reason being, it's his mandatory, his IBF mandatory, who he had just beat Lee Selby. In defeating Lee Selby, you know, Lee Selby being 5'8.5", they got George Kambosos marked at 5'9.5", when he really looks shorter than him. So, you know what I'm saying? Saying that to say this not the fight that we trying to see. This not the fight we want to see. But Real Boxing Network going to explain why it's the fight that we probably going to see coming up in April in Melbourne or Sydney, Australia. Reason being Bob Arum greedy self. And with Bob Arum greedy self, what he wants is to get out of Vegas because COVID in Australia, they doing better numbers. So he's trying to make that money because when Tim Situ, who is the 154 pounder that just knocked out Jeff Horn out there undefeated, he undefeated. He had 16,000 in attendance. So now he was like, man, for all the belts on the line and all that, whoop-de-whoop, Bob Arum was like, I want him to get paid, and pretty much he want to go where COVID isn't impacting stadiums and events as such as it is in America. So what he doing is he gonna try to do a switch up, and he gonna have Teofimo, and they're actually in progress of making the fight right now to fight George Kambosos Jr. And what will typically essentially do is causes, you know, Teofimo to have to, you know, wait on the Devin Haney fight. But this is the reason. It's because Teofimo said he believes he's undisputed based upon the WBC messing up. So he was real as he can be. Shout out to Teofimo, talking to the people, letting the folks know. He was like, man, the boxing world is lonely. The only people he fool with is his fans and his fam. Well, really his fam and his fans and God. So the true thing about it is that he was like, Bob Arum, he only talked to Bob for needed for a fight. He ain't no, he's a great dude at heart. He ain't one, Bob, do your damn job, Bob. I'ma do mine. That's how Teofimo most so like is. Most seem to be. So what he said about the WBC he said they put a meeting with him. He going off on their tail. He said, because this don't make no sense. He want his new bag. He want his new belt with his name on it. And he don't give a damn what nobody say. It was them that said he undisputed. It was them that got their head dabbled all into that fight. And it was them that crowned him undisputed king of the division. So we understand what the duck technique of Lomachenko and what Canelo or Golden Boy Promotions end up doing for them to create the franchise title with the WBC. But what we do know is that Lomachenko just dethroned one of these doggone son of guns. So now he's the damn franchise champion because he beat the so-called franchise champion. The thing about it is this allows you to be represented on a high level with the WBC. They can pretty much make money off you, essentially what this is all about. They making bread off you every fight you do without them causing you to fight your mandatories. But the IBF, the reason why this George Kambosos Jr. fight is going to happen is because the IBF will strip your tail. And when they strip you, they don't hesitate like they stripped Triple G when Canelo popped dirty and Triple G needed to fight an opponent. And they was like, hey, we got Sergey Devenchenko. He ready. You got till, I believe, May to negotiate the fight to be happened in August or September. And Triple G was like, nah, I'm going to fight Vanez, who's a 154 pounder who ain't fought in 2 years. I'm going to go that route. So they said, cool, we stripping you. So he got stripped. And that's how the ring around Ambrosia IBF belts began in the middleweight division. So IBF don't play. IBF, they do not play. So they're going to get that mandatory out of the way. They gonna make sure they get that out the way. George Kambosos, he 19-0. And he light on his feet, you know. He remind me of a Keith Thurman style. He not really a power puncher. He's pretty fast, but the thing is, he fast when he fighting these Australian fighters. And the only person Lee Selby beat was Ricky Burns. And so it's not like Lee Selby is just a dog and he just handled somebody with a split decision win. I mean, he quick, he impressive, you know what I'm saying? He got nice shots to the body. What he like to do, he like to move, you know what I'm saying, hit you in the body. And he don't, you know what I'm saying, he don't shy away from breaking you down throughout the fight if you let him. But this is the thing, if you got a jab, he's actually gonna pretty much be neutralized. Because George Kambosos, what he does is he like jumps forward a lot of times in his punches, and that's similar to like Kell Brook and some of these other European fighters. Not all of them, but some of them. Like Chris Eubank Jr. Be doing it. George Groves did it. Like a lot of these fighters, they do it from the UK. They like to jump forward on you. Well, if you fight a counter puncher, he gonna counter you and he gonna knock your chin back into the 12th grade. So what's gonna happen is when he fights Teofimo, he's gonna get rocked. And the thing I believe is I don't think he has been able to fight anyone with the power of Teofimo. And with his last two fights being split decisions with Mickey B, I mean, honestly, I don't know who nobody he fought but Lee Selby, just to be honest with you. So this is not an exciting fight, but nevertheless, it allows Teofimo to be able to do what he want to do. This is why he want to fight Jose Ramirez or Josh Taylor. That winner is because if he fight George Kambosos in April, then he's able to fight them on the second back end of the year next year and become undisputed. But what he also was talking about, because he talked to Rolly Romero as well. He be on live with Rolly, and he also talked about ain't too many fights with at 140 if Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, and Jose Ramirez lead really 140. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much back. It's a drought again. There ain't really nothing going on over there. So he may stay at 135 to dominate. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where everybody at. But the Devin Haney situation, the WBC is putting Teofimo in a position to defend all his other belts before he actually solidifies the fight with Devin Haney. And that's actually the issue, because the IBF, they get paid by Teofimo, of course, for fighting because he got their belt. But when it comes to their mandatory, they are particular with their rankings. And the WBO is essentially, they are as well. So it's actually hard to stay undisputed, not because the people you got to fight, more so the sanctioning bodies want to make money more so off of some other people than you. So they kind of look for a reason to strip you. With the franchise title, it allows him to not be stripped through the WBC and then fight the WBC fighters as need be, while Devin Haney really fights the WBC fighters. That's why Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia may end up fighting, but because of Ryan Garcia's status, Bob Arum actually want to make the Ryan Garcia fight over Devin Haney, and that goes into the reason why he want to fight George Kambosos in Australia is because COVID is losing him money. So he's not trying to fight Devin Haney during COVID at all. Bob Arum's interest is not to do anything with Devin Haney during COVID. And because Teofimo being the franchise champion, he's now even considering having to fight Devin Haney, especially when you got people like Tank out there. He just said recently about he gonna be the A class no matter what if he fights Tank. He says the Tank fight will not happen if he is not the A side, because he got all the belts. And he like the belt that Tank got is the regular belt. And guess who is also his mandatory? Tank is his mandatory by being the regular WBA champion at 135. He just became the super champion at 130, but he's the regular champion at 135, making him Teofimo Lopez mandatory. So that's why Teofimo's like, nah, I'm the A side. So it's a lot of things going on with the people that Teofimo can fight, trying to fight, and supposedly going to fight. And that's why Devin Haney at the bottom of the list. They're using the Undisputed franchise tag to make all these other fights possible. Because if Tank and Teofimo fight, they're gonna call that an undisputed matchup, and it's gonna make numbers. And WBC know that the amount of money that it can generate. Everybody knows this. This is why they carrying the undisputed title. This is why they created the franchise title. So prominent faces in boxing who has the right promoter, who has the right fan base, who has the right promotional technique, who has pretty much the right record, and essentially the right resume, they're going to establish these individuals as franchise titles. Oh, of course, the right skin color. They're gonna classify these individuals as franchise champions, so that these individuals can fight whoever they want to fight, being undisputed, carrying multiple belts wherever they go, and making their name more so known without you having to tell the story like Canelo had to tell when he originally did not fight Triple G and was stripped by the WBC, why they created the franchise title to appease him and not do that again versus Jamal Charlo. So all this boxing stuff go full circle. You got to get deep. And that's why you here with Real Boxing Network. Y'all go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm in this. And one thing I want to say, Andre Ward said that is significant, and because these young fighters, bro, they look up to these older fighters. So when you listen to these channels, you really want to listen to channels that don't have a personal interest in the aspect of only wanting to talk about what they want to talk about, even freedom of speech. But you do want to listen to channels that talk about what these boxers is truly going through and truly feeling. You know what I'm saying? It really don't benefit you to be on the inside, you know what I'm saying, behind the ropes, behind the scenes, or behind what's going on in the covering of boxing, of being real media and true media, without truly understanding the mindset of these boxers. That's why I do this. Nobody paid me on this and nothing like that. I do this because I love boxing. I do this because I boxed at 2 years old. I boxed all the way through middle school, but I was a football player, and it gets to the point in time to where you gotta for football, you gotta gain weight, which I'm tank size, but I played middle linebacker my whole life. Let you know what type of mindset I was. Yeah, I was a head hunter all the way. So I can't be really an inch taller than Tank, right in between Tank and Teofimo, trying to fight in the Junior Olympics, losing weight and then gaining weight, to play football. It don't work. So essentially, it was easier to consistently play football than to be able to find multiple buses and rides to go to go downtown and go to my boxing gym. So, and the boxing gym I went to was Walt's Boxing Gym. Is one of the boxing gyms that Evander Holyfield used to train at. That's why Evander Holyfield, my favorite fighter. It's because I was training in his gym as a child. So I understand what these boxers be saying when they talk about, y'all gotta stop talking about folks, because this is all relating to Teofimo, because I'm saying this on this video because it's more relevant to Teofimo than any boxer right now, especially after beating Lomachenko. But Andre Ward said this. He was referring to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Stop talking about who ducking who and who's scared of who, because essentially Terrence Crawford only wants to fight Errol Spence. But he don't feel like he needs Errol Spence. He just feel like that's the only person that can essentially challenge him. Errol Spence is trying to fight everybody, because I like Errol Spence because he's like Pumpkinhead on them boys. Everybody that didn't show him no love, that ducked him, everybody that didn't fight him, he coming with a vengeance, and he mowing through everybody. And he about to mow through Daniel Garcia. This is December 5th. Everybody tune in. Pay-per-view. Fox pay-per-view. But Andre Ward is like, stop saying because this person not choosing to fight this person at this time. Stop downing their name. Stop going in on them. If you love boxing, then you love boxing. But these boxers that truly love boxing, that's why they do it. See, me, I stay working out is because that's all I know. I can't get big. I can't get fat. I can't go without doing 50 to 100 push-ups every single day. That's not in me. This is the longest I went without working out because of COVID. It's been a freaking year. And I stopped working out before COVID. It's really been a year and a half. But I usually get back on it. So, but I mean, now I'm on these house things, but it's because of the athlete in me. You love the sport regardless. Stop hating on these fighters, because a lot of people can't do what they do. So because Teofimo not fighting Devin Haney right now doesn't diminish who he is. And I'm speaking like this because this is my channel and this is Real Boxing Network. So this is what we really do, because we talk real. Folks want to clown. I mean, on both sides. Like me, I like Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence. I don't got no problem with George Kambosos. People think I don't like Demetrius Andrade. No, I don't like what he did to his career because he's supposed to be in a position that they put Triple G in. Him and Jamar Charlo. But Jamar Charlo is essentially getting there. But Demetrius Andrade made decisions where he's not where he's supposed to be. So, I mean, we real. So I got to talk about it. People be wanting me to clown the Charlos. How I'm gonna clown people that's making them their face and their names big in boxing without the media, the old media, putting them on freaking pound for pound list and giving them the respect that they deserve. It was channels like this that stayed real from the beginning, that talk about all these fighters, Earl Spence, all these fighters, Terrence Crawford, all these fighters. I ain't jumping off no ship. The only ship I jump off of is a Keith Thurman ship. Somebody that's out there playing like you can tell Keith Thurman really not trying to fight no more. And that's all right. That's cool. He still promote boxing. He still say something crazy, philosophical, something out there that nobody agree with. It makes sense or make you laugh or make a video, talk about him, whatever like that, trolling, something like that. He still, put something in the boxing, but he may not be that type of fighter no more. Because his fight, he wanted the Pacquiao fight in a Mayweather fight. He got the Pacquiao fight, got dropped in the first round and lost the fight. So I don't know if he really has more that he's truly desiring. He was already unified. I know he don't feel like he gonna probably be undisputed now because he definitely ain't talking about it. So that's the only type of fighter I don't fool with. Even though I don't agree with how Danny Garcia made some decisions, it's something in me that I always respect. And I'm always like Danny Garcia no matter what I say, no matter what I think. You're going to always show love to Danny Garcia. Always. Because Danny Garcia prominent in boxing, man. And that's how it is. Lomachenko, I never liked Lomachenko. And I actually look at folks sideways that all I said is he proved me wrong in the Rigondeaux fight, even though I ain't going to make no excuse for Rigondeaux, even though there were some there. I'm not going to make none. I said, cool, he deserves respect for me allowing him to be known as a star in professional boxing. For beating the guy I wanted him to fight, he did it, and I can't say nothing. The real fight was I wanted to see him fight Tank. But the real dog I knew was going to go get him was Teo. Now no Teofimo. That's what this video is about. And it's about how you can't hate on a fighter like Teofimo Lopez, because if you're a real fighter, you're going to respect. Real recognize real. You're going to respect. And when he spoke, he told everybody what it was. He said, man, y'all get on WBC, bro. Get off his tip. Straight up. Straight up. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, you ain't gotta agree with everybody, but the thing is, if you feel entertained, are you not entertained? That nigga entertaining us. So you can't trip. You can't trip. As long as he ain't going to fight no Julius and Dungo, no mess like that, we good. Nah, I'm trying to tell you, he fighting his mandatory. The only two things, bro, that's why I always had issues with Canelo, because Canelo, he don't be fighting his mandatory. He be finding people to fight. Like, if you fight your mandatory, I can't say nothing, bro. If you fight to get in the #1 mandatory spot, I'm not going to say nothing. That's business of boxing. You just got to understand that's how it is. A lot of people lack understanding, so they can't really be able to explain accordingly to what's really the situation is. That's why it's hard to hate on certain people. That's why I don't hate on Teofimo. That's why I tell people, you got to understand with the business of boxing, Devin Haney chose his money and his production company over getting every single fight that he wants. Y'all got to understand that. And he knows that. He wasn't calling out Teofimo's name 3 months ago. 4 months ago, he wasn't saying nothing about Teofimo. And Teofimo said in his interview, he was like, everybody counted him out. Nobody thought he was going to win.